Hey there, welcome. I'm Damien and I'm just another starving artist on the internet. And today we're going to talk about PewDiePie. Not just about him, but specifically his video where he learns to draw. And I know I'm really late to the party and I don't care. I'm going to do this anyway. And I have a confession to make here before we go on. I have been watching YouTube pretty much since YouTube exists, and yet I have never watched a PewDiePie video. I've never really been into big variety YouTubers or Minecraft YouTubers. I think that's how he started YouTube anyway. But yeah, this is going to be a reaction to PewDiePie learning to draw, and the first ever video of him that I will watch. And I have also avoided watching anyone else's reactions to this video so I can have a fully unadulterated opinion on the matter. And just so we're clear, from now on I'm just gonna call him Felix because that's his name. It just feels weird to call him PewDiePie all the time, especially when he chose that username 15 years ago or something. I don't know how long he's been doing YouTube, it's probably around that. So yeah, let's get on with it. So here we are, and we're going to give him a like, because regardless of what happens in the video itself, I think it's good that he's trying arts for the first time, and this may also encourage some of his audience, especially the younger audience, to also give it a go, and I think that's always good. I will also not play the whole thing. For that, go to his channel or click the should be here, I think. Yeah, the thing that shows up in there. So you will see it sped up in my video. I'm watching it at normal speed though. If there's anything important that I think needs to be explored and explained in more detail, I'll play that at normal speed and give commentary on that. Remember, this is not a reaction channel, this is an art channel, so I will focus mostly on the art side of whatever's happening. And I also have Clip Studio open here, so if I need to explain anything with improvised visual support, I'll just draw things here if I think the situation calls for it. So yeah, let's watch it.
I don't draw. I don't know since I was a kid. In fact, here's a self-portrait of me when I was 6 years old. And I was pretty good, right? The semblance is uncanny. I was doing skin colors with a child. It's like, I'm not completely right. Burning fire. Here's a self-portrait I found when I was 8 years old. I'm now involved skin color merging with the wall behind me. Older, artistic statement. In comparison, here's a self-portrait that I passed through when I was 15. I was a prodigy. I could be an artist, but I stopped. I don't draw. So one of the last videos I did was I learned a new thing every day for 7 days. So I spent one day trying to learn one thing. And it was really fun. It got me itching to learn more things. And I thought, what if I do it for a long time? What if I learn to draw? Then I compare what I do at the beginning, and then compare again and be like, wow, at least that's what you want to see, right? I have no guarantees. It's very embarrassing. Speaking of which, I gotta draw my first one. Let's begin. Are you guys ready to finish? It's all in here. Be nice, okay? I'm a sensitive artist. I want to give feedback. Alright, so day one, I drew 11 eyes because I thought every day I'm gonna learn to draw different body parts. That was my idea. Day two, I just drew them, which it's fun, but my goal with this was to get better, right? So okay, so this it says something that is very true in there. I've seen a lot of artists do, not like proper artists, but like people learning to do arts for the first time. They try to learn how to draw eyes, then how to draw noses, then how to draw mouths, how to draw faces. I think you shouldn't approach drawing faces like that, or drawing anything like that, right? It's like, imagine you are trying to learn how to draw machinery, right? Like robots, and you start by learning how to draw bolts and nuts, and then you learn how to draw another piece, and then you draw it all together. It just doesn't make sense. That is a very bad analogy, if I'm completely honest. But yeah, it is better, and you will improve faster, in my opinion, if you try to tackle the whole thing at the same time, right? Because you might get really good at drawing eyes, for example, but then you're not really good at drawing both eyes in the same face and having them make sense with each other, right? I will advise to always practice drawing the full face. If you're practicing faces, draw a full face, not just from the front, but in fact, you shouldn't practice faces from the front too much at the beginning, because your skills are not really that good at first, right? Obviously. You're not gonna get it symmetrical, never, right? Even if you're really good later on. I
I don't think I can like freehand a perfectly symmetrical face, and that's always what we try to go for, at least when you're a beginner artist. Just try to draw faces from different perspectives, different angles, different expressions. That's also important, and different types of people as well. Getting into the technical side of like proportions and all of that later, just try to practice faces as a whole if you're starting out with wanting to draw faces, right? So yeah, let's keep going.
Oh, yeah, I drew a bunch of stuff from my favorite manga blog.
Good. I don't know, but Felix, a good choice. That is a respectable favorite manga. I approve. Blame is really good. Let's keep going.
It's just a mess. I don't know. Yeah,
I have to say these are not bad first attempts at all. This is a very good start. Okay, no, this is not cringe. I know he said be ready to cringe. This is not cringe at all. Especially if it's still day 3. Is moving on quite fast. Although to be honest, I don't know if he's using references or not for all of these drawings. But even if he is, it's still quite a good attempt. No cringe, nothing embarrassing in that. Another respectful choice. Akihito Yoshitomi is insanely good. Insanely precise as well. I have been told before that my sketches, when it comes to like paper, not so much digitally, but when I'm working traditionally, my sketches are very precise. Like I don't need to erase too much or correct lines when I'm working traditionally. I disagree, but yeah, basically my sketches are quite clean when I do them traditionally. Nowhere as clean as Akihito Yoshitomi. Akihito Yoshitomi is just a machine. He draws like a printer. It's so good, so precise, so clean. Go check his YouTube channel as well. He's really good if you're interested in learning art anyways. Okay, so I get the impression that he is using references for the majority of his drawings at least, which is it's not a bad way to start. But yeah, I would also advise to draw, perhaps not straight away from imagination, but like trying to draw other things. Still using references, but like trying to freestyle it a little bit, or trying to incorporate. So use a reference, but draw it from a different perspective. You can look at how someone draws faces, and you can try to draw the same character, the same face in the same style, but the face is looking in a different direction and stuff like that. That is a good exercise to practice when you're a beginner. Okay, it is day 5, so if you're already, you could never draw a girl. Come on, just keep going. It's gonna take some time to get to the point where you can draw whatever you want. Okay, I understand the cringe, because I cringe at stuff I did a couple of years ago, right? And I wasn't, by the average person standards, I wasn't a bad artist a couple of years ago. I was just not as good as I am now, right? But anyways, I think like within the first 10 days of trying to learn to draw, these are really good attempts and nothing to be embarrassed about, if I'm completely honest. Because he's a grown-up adult man, right? He's holding himself to a standard that may seem a bit unreasonable, because obviously other professional artists his age are not drawing this, but they are professional artists that have been doing it for half their life, if not more, right? He shouldn't hold himself to those standards. I think this is really good progress for just being a few days into art. Okay, he says something very interesting. Sometimes he draws something that looks quite good, and then the rest is awful, in his opinion. There's this saying that when you do something once, it's chance. Now, how was it? Wait, I don't remember how the saying went. But yeah, I don't remember what's the step in the middle. No, actually, I don't remember how the two go. I don't remember if it's first luck and then chance, or first chance and then luck. I don't remember which one it is. But basically, if you do something once, it is, let's say, chance. If you do something twice, it is luck. And if you do something 3 times, thrice, then it's a habit. That can be applied to art. If you do something good once, yeah, sure, you did it by chance. It just happened. You were lucky that time. If you keep going and what you did doesn't look that good, you'll do it again. And the more you keep drawing, you'll do it more often. Doing good work will become a habit. Practice makes perfect, basically. Just a long way of saying that.
My second merch is that I erased parts of it because I hated that much. Me and my friends we went from painting, so my sister's book, and I just, it was really nice. But I tried to draw my face so much, so bad. Every time we better by day, so yeah, it's more pain. Just, I'm so mad at drawing. It's so furious. Like, why can't I draw? Why? Sorry to interrupt the video, but something I want to tell you guys. There's a digital logo sale. Yes.
Okay.
Logo. What?
I'm going to skip the sponsor because I honestly do not care about G Fuel at all.
I guess I felt like I did a little better. That was kind of fun. I'm not following any reference or anything. I'm just drawing some what I learned.
Okay, he just said that he's not using any references for this. He's just using what he learned, like the techniques that he learned and applying them to what he's imagining. Those are really good attempts then. Those are really good attempts. I will recommend studying a bit more references, like finding a style that you like and practicing that a little bit. Looking at a real person even, if you want to. Of course, when you're a beginner, I don't recommend like having the person in front of you and they're talking and they're moving, but rather take like a picture or have them sit still for a while so you can look at it properly. But yeah, these are really good attempts if they are completely from imagination, just using learned techniques, especially in day 9 of their artistic progress.
Sometimes they turn out 1 maybe out of 10. Day 10, I should say. Day 11, I felt like I just probably right? I practiced that a lot. It looks like I did a lot, right? I do so quickly that I don't know. There's a lot of bodies. Sorry.
Okay, day 11 he started to draw bodies, and I think that's a good progression. You shouldn't get stuck drawing something specific in the hopes that you will just get better before you move on to something else. If your objective is to draw people, then don't focus on drawing faces, and after you master the faces, you move on to bodies. No, you just learn to draw people all at the same time. We are not people without the rest of our body. Something interesting he said is, let me see.
Not much to say.
Yeah, go.
11, I felt like, okay, I should probably know how to draw a body.
Yeah, good.
Right? So I practiced that a lot. It looks like I did a lot, but I drew this so quickly that I don't know.
Okay, it looks like he practiced a lot, but he did that really quickly. That is the way you should practice. Basically, when you're doing a drawing, 80% of the work will take you 50% of the time. Okay, that's I know that doesn't make sense, but basically the first 80% of all of the work that you're doing at first, it will only take you half of the time. Let's say a drawing takes you 4 hours. By the second hour, when the second hour is over, that drawing will be 80%, okay? And the last 50% of the time, you will do the final touches, because the final touches just take forever. So in order to practice, there's an argument to be made whether quality or quantity is more important when you're practicing sketches, when you're first learning. But I will say that practicing quantity might be slightly more important. I do recommend doing a lot of really quick sketches and not get stuck in the specifics, and don't worry if your drawings are too stiff or whatever happens to your drawings. Just keep drawing fast and draw a lot. And if something isn't working, don't get stuck on that. Just move on to the next one. It's as easy as that, in my opinion, obviously. When you're in this stage of like, I think it's day 11, he said, you're still in the first 2 weeks of learning. So that you shouldn't worry about quality yet. That's why you should practice everything together and not bodies and then heads and then whatever. Because getting the proportions between the head and the body right when you don't practice them together is actually really hard. And it's especially hard to master. I don't like using the word master. To get right, I just keep saying getting it right, but it's just, yeah, you get what I mean. I just don't want to repeat myself that much. To get the connection between the head, the neck, and the torso right. That if you don't practice them together, that is something that you will struggle with a lot, because I did that when I was much, much younger. And it is something that I will change in the way I learned to draw back when I was a teenager.
You're right. That's not it. Yeah, it's just different bodies, but I just hate them. So I switched to going over hands for day. This working day, so easier, I guess. Day 19, I was panic at this point because I knew I only had what, 10 more days, and I hated these. I hate them. Right?
Okay, he's saying that at day 19, he only had 10 more days to practice, so he set himself a limit of 30 days. He's hating it. He doesn't like his work. which is completely understandable. 30 days is not really good enough to go from zero to a really good artist. You will become a better than the average person at drawing, because most people don't even spend 30 days trying to learn to draw, but it will not make you a good artist, especially when you're focusing on learning. I found that you actually improve a lot faster when you focus on drawing things that you want. I'm not entirely sure what, well, yeah, he wants to draw pretty girls, right, as a bit of a challenge, and that's a valid goal to have within your first 30 days. Because he's going from zero, he should probably take a bit longer if he actually wants to master it, rather than just doing it for the challenge of drawing for 30 days. Also, hating your own art is completely understandable. I hate my own art, especially when I'm making it. I have a very weird love-hate relationship with art, because I hate the process. It's painful. It's painful. And when I finish a drawing, I have to force myself to let go of it, because I want to keep retouching it forever, because I'm really not happy with how it looks. And the reason is, one of my paintings, digital paintings obviously, they can take me 30, 40 hours to make. And that means I've spent 30 to 40 hours staring at it. And I know every single little thing that is wrong and every little imperfection that it has, and yeah, I just hate it, and it feels like people will notice because I have this skewed artist vision, even though I will not judge other people's work to the same standards, but that's because I haven't spent tens of hours looking at the whole thing in deep detail, like in 400% zoom, basically.
Day 21, still panicking. I drew one child here, and immediately I was still panicking. Day 42, yep. Day 43, I drew another merch, but it's so bad. Just sort of sorry, face. I killed that. He's not bad. He's not bad. Why did I do it? Why is it so hard to draw? Why don't tell me?
Okay, why is it so hard to draw? Why did no one tell him? I don't know. I'm pretty open about how hard and shit it feels to draw. But yeah, he's asking like, why can he not do it all the time? And yeah, I just said it just takes a bit of practice to turn chance into habit. See, that's exactly what I said before. To draw things that you actually want to draw. He said he watched a tutorial. I don't know what tutorial it is. I would like to see, to have an opinion on how good the tutorial might be and what parts may be better. But yeah, he started drawing anime fan art. Power from Chainsaw Man. Yeah, that made him improve because he's enjoying the process. That's the most important thing when you're starting to draw art. You will eventually hate the process, at least from personal experience. And a few other friends of mine that are also artists, they also hate the process itself. But at the beginning, you have to find things that you like drawing so that you won't hate it. Just draw things that you like. You will hate it eventually, so don't hate it from the beginning, basically. Okay, day 28, he says that he feels like he can finally draw, but it's kind of obvious. This is not anything. This is not me being negative. I encourage anyone that is learning to draw to do this. But at this stage, you shouldn't compare your completely original, without reference work with work that you're directly copying from a manga. But yeah, even if he's getting better at drawing because he's using references, this will improve his original work. But his original work would not look to the same standard as the drawings he's referenced from something else. Okay. It's no cringe for anyone to draw anime. I am a copium addict though, so take that with a fistful of salt. But yeah, I'm not too far off from his age. I'm gonna be 30 eventually in the relatively near future. And I draw anime girls and I'm trying to do it for a living. And I'm pretty sure a lot of manga artists and animators, they are also in their 30s drawing anime girls. So it's not cringe. It's not cringe, Felix. Relax, chill. I'm also sure that that he's done way cringier stuff in his YouTube career. Drawing anime girls shouldn't be the cringiest thing that you can think of for a 35 years old to do, I think.
I just thought that was brilliant, and that was all I was doing. These are all from anime, but I was like, I love these, I look at these, how? They find improvements, and I love it. It's so cute. And I'll keep it. Finally, I just really love it. I like these. And there we go. They're great. I like these. I'm doing this from my head as well. So I'm doing that.
Okay, so he's drawing some stuff from the top of his head without any references, and you can see they have improved. Perhaps he hasn't noticed, but they are actually not up to the standards of the images he referenced. But at the same time, yeah, it's easier to draw anime. It's easier to learn when you're copying from references, so that you can inform your original work later on. And yeah, I think he's made good progress. He's on day 30 already, so I don't know if he's gonna show any bodies that he's done without any references. I would like to see that.
And guess what? Day 31, I kept going because I actually realized I enjoy
he just kept going.
drawing now. It's fine. I'm just drawing hand girls or girls in general, but that was a goal to try and accomplish. Comparing these and these drawings with some of the first time I drew, you're going to see some improvement. We can agree on that.
Yeah, it is definitely an improvement. A completely natural improvement for a beginner. Okay, so leveling up your art skills is very similar to leveling up in an RPG. So when you're at level 1, right, it only takes like 10 experience points to go to level 2, and then to level 2 it takes 15 to go to level 3, and stuff like that. And then when you're level 20, it takes you 14 million experience points to go to level 21. Yeah, that happens. So at the beginning, you will probably improve quite fast if you keep practicing, obviously. There's a lot to learn, so anything that you learn will make you improve your work. As you get better, as you have more experience, there's less things that you can learn. There's less things that you can learn that will push you to the same level as they pushed you before. When you're starting, you learn a new technique, and that technique can improve a lot of your work. But when you are more experienced and you learn a new thing, that's just one new thing on top of the 1,500 things that you already know. So the impact is not that big. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, let's finish the video.
I was very pleasantly surprised. Alright, so that concludes my little drawing day. Honestly, this was a better result than I expected. My goal was to practice 10 minutes because now it's bad and we had 6 hours to do anything. Because 10 minutes a day for 30 days only takes 5 hours. I want to see if you can actually get a result by then. I think, yeah, it seems for me at least. I'm very happy. And I enjoyed it. I was after all the pain. The first 2 or 3 weeks of pain, I felt like I was actually really enjoying sketching. I thought it was really relaxing, engaging, and I totally still have to keep doing it. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know.
Okay, so he's doing his final thing, like subscribe and stuff. Which, by the way, if you like my work, like and subscribe and do all the YouTube things, you know how that works. But anyways, yeah, he's talking about doing 10 minutes every day. That's honestly more than I draw. There are days where I don't draw at all. If I'm completely honest, I should kind of force myself to draw a little bit more once in a while. The only difference is that when I sit to draw, I will draw for like hours in one sitting, even if I don't do it every day. But yeah, I can see how being a new dad, like he's saying, can take away a bit of time and energy for people to draw. It's also true that it is very difficult at the beginning to get the taste for drawing. So on the first few days you will try to draw, you may feel frustrated because it's not that good, and that's why you give up. I would recommend to just keep going for a bit longer. Not too long, like it's not 30 days, and in 30 days it's actually gotten quite comfortable with the pencil. And yeah, let's say I encourage anyone to start trying art, try to learn to draw. It's always good to have a more artistic mindset. And something I was not aware of until now is that Felix also has a second video where he keeps going for 100 days. That's a lot of drawing. I mean, I've done like Inktober challenge before, twice. I completed it twice. I've done it, I've attempted to do it before all the times, more than twice. But the once I finished it and I did everything more or less on time, that was only twice. Yeah, I cannot imagine myself having 100 days of drawing every day. Because as I said before, I don't really draw every day. But yeah, let's see what this other video is about.
Drawing. It's hard. If I try doing when I was 7 years old, it's me that shower. What's the problem? I know what you're thinking. And like, potentially, artist. This video I was like drawing. I just never practiced it.
Okay, don't judge the ability of an artist from what they drew when they were 7. I'm actually impressed he has any drawings from when he was 7. I I don't have any drawings I like before high school, if I'm completely honest. I also failed art in school. Not like art school, but like normal compulsory education and stuff. So yeah, don't judge the potential of an artist from what they do when they're like a really young child.
So in my last video, I started trying to practice drawing every day for 30 days. And I realized, this is amazing. I'm having so much fun. And compared the result when I started to after 30 days, and it was a big difference. So it really motivated me to keep going, especially when everyone else was supported. Therefore, I continue. And right now, I'm doing every day for 100 days. So let's look at the result.
That is impressive, and I forgot to like this video. Yeah, drawing every day for 100 days is quite impressive, especially if you're not... Well, I mean, technically he's doing it for a job, because like, his job is YouTube, and he's doing it for a YouTube video, but also doing it for fun, so it's all good.
Did you have the same kind of improvement, or am I peaked? Let's check it out.
No one peaks at 30 days of drawing. No one does.
Here we are. I'm so excited because I purposely have not looked at these old ones as well, so you know, together. Just for reference, this is where I started off at day 0, and this is where I left off at day 30. I really like these. I bought these markers or pens to fill in. I thought about it.
Okay, I just had a quick look at the pens that he's using to ink, and yeah, they're garbage. I know which pens those are. They're not really good for inking or detailed work. I don't recommend those specific ones. I don't have them on me, because why would I? I don't use that. But yeah, don't get those ones. And recommend pens like these ones. If you look at the tip, right, you can see that specific type of tip you cannot see it properly, but yeah, that specific type of tip, those are the ones that you want. They're not really that expensive, and you have like a million brands. The one that I'm using is Unipin Fine Line, because they are waterproof, and I use them a lot with watercolors. Don't get those ones. Don't get the ones that have a tip that looks like a pen. Get the ones that look like really thin markers. And moving on.
Better, but
It's really hard. 5 days after that video, I felt like I just lost sort of my game. Like, I was so mad about it, and I felt like a fraud. Like, I just tricked everyone.
No, you didn't trick anyone. It is completely normal to have a drop in quality in your work once in a while. And thinking that you're a fraud and that you tricked everyone, it just sets you in a mindset that will make it even harder to get good again at drawing. It's completely understandable. It happens all the time. It's called art block. We in the art community are all too familiar with it. It's completely fine. Nothing to worry about. It happens to everyone.
Because I couldn't draw anymore. Still, I kept going, and I tried to I had time to do. And still leaving my comments. I don't here. Because my students are again. Okay, so my favorite really games was Tune the Sun. And these characters are really interesting. Because it's so detailed and fun and weird. So I really like drawing these. I feel like I got the these enough, which I could do before. So yeah, I love drawing these. Some kind of styles. I'm not developing my own. I'm just trying to draw different things I see in life.
Okay, he said he's not developed his own style yet. Felix, you're... It's too early. It's too early to think about styles and developing your style. I personally think I haven't found my style. So yeah, you shouldn't worry about that. I have a video on style if anyone wants to check that out. It is not clear to me whether these drawings are drawn using references, though I believe the ones from the video game that he was just talking about, they probably are using reference. But yeah, they're still not bad attempts. Right, he said he's gaining his momentum again. That happens a bit when if you leave art for like a bit and you get back to it. It takes some effort to get into it.
as much as possible. And that's what everyone told me as well. The best way to improve is draw from reference. So I drew this super quick.
Yeah, the best way to improve is to draw from reference, but that also has a limit, in my opinion. You should do both. You should draw from reference and without references at the same time. Not like in the same drawing, but like while you're using references, try to draw something without references as well, in the same general period of time. That is impressive. He finished the sketchbook. I've not finished many sketchbooks because I've drawn a lot, but I normally move on to a different sketchbook before I finish it for some reason. Don't ask me why. A lot of artists do this. I don't know why we do it. I should go back and finish a few of them. I'm going to skip the sponsor again. That is a really good attempt. Once again, I believe he's using references for this because there's a big jump in quality and there are things that I can see he's not done before. Like he's not practiced many of the anatomical aspects that he's actually gotten right in this drawing. I suspect that he's using references. Nothing wrong with that. I think he should be more open to saying what he's drawn with and without references. Again, nothing wrong with using references. It's just for the sake of clarity. And okay, he's probably using references for this one by not clarifying that he's using references. There might be someone in his audience that believes that he drew this from imagination, from his own head, without any references, and that's setting an expectation of quality that if this person tries art themselves, they will not be able to meet. I think he should be a bit more careful. It's not a big deal. Come on. We all use references, but he should be a bit more careful when he's clarifying whether he's using references or not for each, not for each drawing, but like in general, especially the ones that he's focusing on and paying more attention than the others.
I loved it so much. I couldn't believe it. And I felt like, yes, I did it. I drew something like, finally. This was kind of a blessing at first because I would always compare whatever I drew to the best thing I felt like I drew. And I really lost that I drew that. I don't know. This one I found online on Pinterest and Google.
Okay, so he is saying that he finds them on Pinterest or Google. So he is using references for most, if not all of this. I feel like there might be a lot of people looking at doing reactions to this that may not fully realize that he's drawing from reference. Most of this is not original. But yeah, again, nothing wrong with that.
God damn it! I think I was having a bad day.
We all have bad days, especially when doing art, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. It happens all the time. That is a good thing, being self-critical and drawing enough to understand what is wrong with your previous drawings and how you can make them better for next time. That is the most important thing, I believe, when it comes to practicing. I say practicing a lot is important, and a lot of people hate the advice of just practice. In defense of that advice, I have a full video talking about that. It's because people don't know how to practice. And yeah, there are a lot of like very logical, very things that you expect people to understand about practice, purposeful practice, that people don't actually understand. Doing something like this is really good. He's gotten to the point where he can pinpoint certain mistakes in his art and think about how to improve them in his next drawings. Okay, he did draw with no reference. Let's see. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. Felix, if you're watching this, I don't mean to be rude or anything. I'm trying to offer completely 100% valid feedback. And don't worry, I hate myself to the same shitty standards that if I say anything, if I criticize your art, don't worry, I'm criticizing mine even harder. So it's fine. What can I say about this? No references at all. Okay, you need to work a little bit on the texturing for the hair. The hair looks kind of greasy and in weird clumps. It doesn't really look too flowy. It looks more like wet plants, right? Again, I don't mean to say it looks like wet plants as an insult. It's just the kind of texture I'm getting from this specific drawing. The eyes are okay. They might be a little bit too high. Nothing too bad, in my opinion. The distance between the nose and the mouth, specifically from this angle where she's like looking a little bit downwards. Yeah, the distance, the upper lip might be, so like the mouth is too far down. She has well-defined cheek. The chin is also very well done. I'm not entirely sure if I will put the mouth up or move the nose down. Yeah, I will probably get the eyes and the nose and move them down just a little bit. The ear is okay. The shape of the neck is a little bit weird. It's completely fine. I always understand these parts. Like, you can't see because I've got a short, thick neck. These parts, right? The part that connects the neck with the torso, right? I do notice that a lot of people starting art really, really struggle with that part. It's not the worst I've seen. It's really not, from people way more experienced. And how many days is this? 57? 58? Being into art for 2 months, this is really good. But yeah, those are the mistakes I see. Anything else I don't mention is because there are things that I think should improve as long as you just keep drawing. Like chicken scratching, I don't have an issue with that, especially if you do it on purpose. You're clearly not doing it on purpose. You're doing it because you still lack a little bit of confidence in your own traces. It's not bad. it's not bad for only having been into art for 2 months. It really isn't.
Oh, it's that broad reference. That's way improved. I just the other one.
Again, no reference. Yeah, I feel like it's a side effect of drawing from anime references. Is struggling to understand how the head, neck, and torso connects. Because in anime, they don't really draw that properly too often for the sake of a stylistic choice. Texture on the hair is a bit better than the one before. There's still quite a bit of distance between the nose and the lip, but it's not as bad as the other one because this one is not looking downwards. Maybe the ears are a little bit too small as well. You've got really, really well defined this. I can't tell because it's inverted. This side of the face that looks really well. The shape of the nose, maybe the nose, moving the nostril a little bit back. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's doing quite good work.
So I was wrong. That's really like I had. So you know, like
You say the R sides are too far apart. Well, that is true. It's not something I wanted to mention. Technically, the eyes should be like the length of one eye. That should be the space between the two eyes, right? Let me show you. No, I'm not gonna do it. It's fine. You can see in the camera, right? So like the space between my two eyes is the same, the width of one eye. But if you look at the work of someone like Takeshi Obata in Bakuman or Death Note or Platinum End, or he's done a lot of manga, not anime, specifically the manga. If you look at his work, he draws the eyes really far apart all the time, but it doesn't look bad. It really doesn't look bad, especially in female characters. She doesn't do it so much with male characters, but in female characters, especially if he wants to give them that cute, sparkly look, the eyes are really far apart, and it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad, and it didn't look bad in the drawing stuff Felix is doing here. That's why I didn't mention it, but he has pointed that out as well. So yeah.
You know, also draw way quicker now as well. But yeah, I started time through this book. That was a really big one. Like a part of instead of 6. And I brought the first 2 pages because I think it was really used it. It's so difficult. No, but I could actually say a lot more than one page, which I think was fun.
Again, I think he's gone back to using references. This is day 64 from what I see in the corner. Yeah, I mean, even if it's referenced, that's really good. You can see that he has improved the relation between the face, neck, and torso because they are references.
To just look at. Yes, I draw cat girls. Don't judge me. So
It's fine. I draw cat girls too, Felix. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not cringe. It's okay.
One sort of page per day, which I really like doing. I commit to a full body. Doesn't stuff, but you see how many times it took me to actually draw something I was happy with. I feel like you draw one thing you like, that will cost you 10 pages. I use myself as a reference for some of these. That's why I just needed the post.
Okay. So he is using not references from manga, but references from real life as well. That's really good. Okay, he's unexpectedly using some really good learning techniques here for art. I am genuinely impressed. Not just at the progress. The progress is completely normal because he's using all of these different techniques and learning techniques, and he's drawing every day. I've seen a lot of people, not videos because I haven't watched any videos, but I've seen comments and people discussing online how he may have like a lot of raw talent and whatever. It's not. He's just learning with really good learning methods. That's what he's doing. He's learning in the most efficient way you can learn art, I believe. This is the way I will probably go about teaching someone to draw.
That one's wrong. Yeah, that one's too. I don't want to be angry, I just need a reference. I just I could super quick. I should have kind of bad, but this one's right. Here we go. So I ordered one of my pens, the green one. It was really bad in the beginning, but I used the other end of it, and I think it was too strong. I used markers because I wasn't sure how to do it. So I bought my own markers.
I have never seen that brand of markers before. I have no idea what those are. The ones I use. 1 second. The ones I use are. Wait, do I have like? Okay, so these are the ones I use. Okay, they all look a bit different because they are from 3 different times. They're still the same brand, the same manufacturer, but at first they were called Letraset Pro Markers. Focus, there. You can see this like a weird, what color is this? Olive green. Right, so they had the brand Letraset Pro Marker in white, with lines of the color that it's supposed to be going along the pen. Then they were bought by a British company called Winsor & Newton, and they changed to this. So instead of Letraset Pro Marker, it's Winsor & Newton Pro Marker. And they have it in black now with lines of the color. This is Warm Gray 3. Right? And then this is the current branding. So it is still Winsor & Newton Pro Marker, but now it's all black, and they have a bit of the color near the thinnest tip. Oh yeah, they have two tips. So like a marker tip and a big square tip. Backwards. So yeah, these are the ones I use. These are alcohol markers. I have never seen that brand at all. We're gonna see what they look like in Felix's work. Okay, I'm seeing some of the coloring, and I'm not entirely sure whether they are alcohol or water based, because it's actually really hard to get that effect that he's getting with alcohol markers. Let me show you this one. These are like some character sketches for my video game. Right, you can see that the colors are very uniform and consistent, and that's really easy to do because they are not watercolor, they are alcohol markers. Right, even if you paint several times in the same place with the marker, the pigment itself will blend, making it kind of uniform and just one layer of the same tone of color. However, if you use water-based markers, you will get a lot of what is called banding. You get lines in between the different strokes, which is what is happening in that specific drawing and in the few ones that he was showing before. So yeah, they may be water-based markers, and that's why I've never heard of them, because I don't use water-based markers.
I spent one day trying to do green, and another doing blue, and I tried not wasting much time coloring, but then it really sloppy and bad, so it's difficult.
Sloppy and bad is a style. I mean, if you do it on purpose, I don't see anything wrong with it. Those don't look too bad, if I'm honest. That looks like it was done on purpose.
Cool. The yellows I really love. It's trying to make it really interesting. Red and salmon, I want to go very color. I didn't have it anyway. I did this one, and I did it so sloppily that I feel like I could have done better, so I really find this one. It's quite cute. Okay. This is clearly referenced, because I can see that he's not actually practiced many of the techniques that he's used in this drawing before, and he's just doing them almost perfectly. Again, nothing wrong with it being referenced or not. Yeah, I'm not going to pay too much attention to the coloring, because it's almost just flat coloring, nothing really interesting going on. But it's not bad, even if it is referenced. The purple line, these are very anime drawings. You know what I mean? But it's fun to see it in front of you. This is my 14th year, and I teach you guys 14. So frustrating enough to use you. Thank you very much. Please color this one. Oh.
This is the one I've been seeing everywhere. Yeah, this seems referenced. I'm not entirely sure.
My new favorite. I love this one. This is on day 84. This is nice to look at. It works. So it took me 4 days to feel like I was something I like it. I feel like it's definitely an improvement. I see already, but it just took me so many tries. I was trying different things. I shaped differently. It's like,
Okay, that's interesting. Wait, I'm interested in what he's about to say.
Different things I shaped differently. It's like a whole different ballgame if you're not used to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was telling. That's what I was saying before, that you should practice a lot of things at the same time, because if you get too used to just drawing one thing from one specific perspective or one specific expression or angle or whatever, when you want to change that, it just throws you off really hard. Drawing extreme faces for angles, drawing extreme perspectives for faces is actually quite challenging, because we're not used to seeing them, and we don't see them in art either that much. So that is a little bit tricky to get right.
So I drew from the side for the first time as you see, it took a lot of tries. But I got there, okay? That was continuing. I felt like just more practice with different angle of the head, so I tried to do as much as possible. Yeah, different styles of coloring. It's the same with coloring. I didn't like that one.
Yeah, that's why I don't draw on my sketchbooks on both sides of the page. I only draw on one, and then I move to this next paper, because I use markers and watercolors, and they bleed hard.
I tried, I just wasn't happy with it. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Too scared to color it. Don't ask me what happened here. Still really struggling to be consistent with different angles of the face. That's the eye. I really like this one. So I joined Saturday Girls and Chainsaw Man. Power and what's her name? Renita? Or so expressive. You know, see, I remember reading. I was like, I have to draw that. It was a bit sloppy, but so do another job. Okay. So for thing I want to draw videos. So we'll do that now. I realized I've actually drawn anything recorded before, so it's a bit weird, but this is how I do it. It's wrong.
Okay, we're gonna see the process. We're gonna judge really hard. Let's see what he's doing.
I don't think that's first because it's the most important. At least some of them. Then I sort of figure out where the chains stand up in relation to everything else, and that is not right. For me, this process takes the most time. I also think it's the most important.
Okay, he started with the eyes rather than the shape of the head, which I can see why a lot of people will say that is wrong, and that's not the best strategy for drawing a face. But fuck that. I always draw noses first. I do the sketch, which, by the way, I don't do this type of a sketch. I do the oval, so it looks like a neck with a cross across it. And before I define the shape of the face, I draw the nose. Don't ask me why. I just feel like that's the way I like doing it. So nothing wrong with drawing the eyes first, but I can see how some people may think that that's not the right way to do it. I would also like to know if he's using references for this or not.
The chain is so difficult. It almost doesn't work. I actually decided to change the eyes. I don't remember why. Just felt like it's messy. That was better. I also decided to change the body to be font instead. It's just more natural. And there we go. That's our first sketch. So I colored in with pen. Add these little frog characters. Now we can erase scribbles, which makes it really empty. I was thinking I had gray, but I didn't really have any color, so it was hard to make it work. I tried my best. I felt like the more different tones and shades, the more light it looks. So I was like, let's start, but here we are. Takes a little scary, in my opinion. And also, I'm coloring, feeling more with the marker. I don't call it the pen. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's a really bad pen for doing line art. I don't recommend using those types of pens.
Let's give it some more something. I was trying to the frogs, but I did anyway. Why not? So I colored in frogs, and I decided to splash green. Just with the colors somewhere on her as well. Actually, it's nice. And the circles are more interesting, but I don't know if it was the best idea, to be honest. But this is the result.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Once again, I would like to know whether he's using references or not. There are some things that I'm not entirely sure whether he understands what is going on, like those things that you see a lot in anime but don't really make a lot of sense in real life. If he even knows what those are trying to represent, so that's why I'm suspecting that he might be using references, but it's not mentioned at any point, so I'm not entirely sure. It is also possible that he's using partial references, which is the way I like to tell people to use references, because that is the best way to do it. So he's using references for different things, different references for one drawing.
I felt like I finding more consistently draw different face angles. It didn't take me so many times to see the lack of eraser in comparison at least. And on day 100, I just wanted to draw again with you guys a little bit of Chainsaw Man, because I love these characters and I just want to draw. That's like when I draw usually is not using the reference.
So we are using reference now. It is clear that we're using references. On the one before, I still don't know whether he was using references or not. I suspect partial reference, like I said before. But it is very clear now that he is using references for the Chainsaw Man drawings.
But hey, it's still something to look at it. I love this character so much. It seems so funny.
I do notice that there's a lot more confidence in the way he uses the pencil than in the way he uses the pen. Like you can tell on the pencil lines, and when he erases them and you can only see the pen lines. The pen lines are a lot sloppier, in my opinion. Especially in this Makima drawing.
Best row, easily. So yeah, that concludes my 100-day drawing challenge. I owe a huge thanks to you guys for being so supportive. One of the reasons I actually decided to keep going was I was planning to do it. Remember, I like, I'm embarrassing myself holding this video, like, but it was nice. I was making problems, right? Thank you. And I started going to the gym like 7 years ago. I was not in shape at all. But I remember thinking after I done it, I was like, well, if that once, now I was going to go. And eventually I was going to go. And I'm trying to keep the same mentality drawing. I don't know my goal is, but all you gotta do is keep practicing. That's all it takes. You'll get better unless you actually put in the work, right? So I got to do the comparison. So this is where I was at 30 age, and this is where we're right now. Maybe you can tell them that's different, but I can tell them that's different.
Okay, that is very important, what he just said. A lot of the times, people will not be able to tell the difference between your work from, like, last year and your work from now. Most likely, you will be able to tell the difference. And when that happens, that just goes to show how self-critical someone can be about their own work. Other people don't pay as much attention as you do to your own work, and that's something that you just have to understand and get over that. Because yeah, to you, your drawings will always look worse than they do to someone else. That is a thing that happens and will keep happening. Even more the better you get. Other people may not be able to see the improvement, but you can definitely see it. So yeah, don't pay too much attention to what they say. Felix, don't ignore me if you want. Fuck me. Okay, he's talking about in a year developing his own style more. I still think it's too early for a style, but I will really want to see that video now. That's probably going to be the third PewDiePie video that I watch. I'm looking forward to that and judge the progress. Judge in a nice way, okay? It's giving feedback, not judging like, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to judge badly just because I want to see how he improves and how his art develops.
But we'll see you guys then. I know some more time this time around than just 10 minutes a day, which is kind of the point, you know? It's just a way to make you several do something for 10 minutes a day. It's a way to make you keep going at it. And I'm having so much fun doing it anyway. Whatever else you have, I believe you can do it. Alright, I'll see you guys next one. This was like a
Okay, I don't think the rest of the video is related to art at all, so I really do not care. So, final thoughts. I would have liked for Felix to be more clear whether he was using references or not in more of the drawings that he was focusing on. Specifically the last, I think it was day 98, where he was showing how he was doing the drawing. If he specified whether he was using references for that or not, that would have been really helpful to judge a bit better how far his art progress, his art journey is. Yeah, other than that, is it realistic for anyone else starting art for the first time to be at the same skill level after 100 days? Yes, it's completely realistic. He was doing a lot of learning techniques that a lot of beginners don't follow, and that's why their development gets a little bit what's the word? Yeah, I'm not going to remember the word. Stumped, gets a bit stumped. That's the word. I did remember it. He has a lot to improve. Actually, I would like him to be more clear about the references, because there are a lot of things in the way he draws that make me feel like he is using references, but then he said he wasn't in some of them. There's a lot of anatomical details that he goes back and forth between doing them really well and not looking right at all. So that is a little bit confusing. His line art is not very clear at all. It's not very consistent. It doesn't look confident. It's a lot of chicken scratching on the line arts. When it comes to inking, when he was using the pen, I don't know if with a better pen, it might be able to be a bit more confident in the lines. Because that is a very bad pen. Felix, change your pen. That is not a good pen for inking. Please. Don't use ballpoint pens for that kind of manga style art. If you're using it for anything else that you don't want that specific look for it, then it's fine, probably. But for manga, no, just change your pen. A bit more practice with color. Oh, how do I say this? This is why I don't do unscripted videos a lot. If you can work a little bit on like the way you lay out color, so that it looks a little bit cleaner, that could be helpful. Just doing swatches of color. Yeah, I mean, just keep doing what you've been doing. I think in a year you can make I'm talking as if I know Felix is gonna be watching this video. Probably not, but yeah, I think in a year you can make like a lot of progress. He's doing a lot of things right for that progress to happen. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about that. If you have any specific questions about the way he's doing things, just let me know in the comments, and I'll try to explain that specifically. There isn't anything I can say off like the top of my head that is worth mentioning. So if you have any specific questions, that's probably going to be better to ask me in the comments. That's all I have to say for now. And remember that if you like my work, you can find all my social media in a link in the description below. And if you would like to support me, you can find my Ko-fi page and Patreon page in the same link. But if you want something physical and solid in return for your support, you can visit my shop, also in the same link. And like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things that make the algorithm happy. I already asked you to do them before. Doesn't hurt to ask twice. So yeah, just keep drawing, keep getting better, and I'll see you next time.